Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly meeting of the Phrancko Sweater Knitters. I'm Frank Jernigan, and I created the website phrancko.com, where you can enter your measurements and the gauge of the swatch that you make with your own yarn and needles and get a sweater pattern that is custom fit just for you. And we meet every week. Feel free to come join us. Hi, Wally.
Hi, Frank. How we doing?
We're good. Hi,
Good.
Jen. Hi, Judith.
Hi, everyone. Bonjour.
Hi, Ron and
Hello.
Tim.
He went to get the tea.
Tim went to get the tea. Hi,
He went to get the tea.
and hi, Sumner. Your microphone's still off and your visual is off, but we greet you anyway.
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Hi.
Karen.
There he is.
Hi. There he is.
Hey, freezing, running in with the dog. Hi.
How is my volume, by the way?
Good.
I should have asked that before I started the recording, but good. We were playing with the microphones.
You get back all right from your knitting retreat?
Oh, I had a wonderful time. Yes. And it was larger than any other time I've been there. There were 19 people this time.
Oh, wow.
And Ron was there with me. So we had a really good time. Did you enjoy it, Ron?
Yes, I had a great time.
No.
Yeah, I really enjoyed meeting everyone. There were some guys I knew already in passing or just from like other events that I had met once or twice, or I knew of them, or we were like Facebook friends. And so being able to meet everyone properly was very, very nice. So yes, I had a great time.
And those of you who were in the meeting last week or saw the video know that were two people there who have already knitted Phrancko sweaters. One of them has knitted two of them and bought yarn to make the Phrancko hoodie while
Oh, wow.
we were there for the weekend.
Good.
I wore the hoodie one day because it's very cold up there, and he liked it. And when they went to a small group of them went to some yarn stores in the area, and he came back with the right kind of yarn to make the hoodie. So hi,
Wow.
Sidra.
Hello.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Frank.
Is Rana here today? No, huh?
I don't see Rana. Nope.
No. I wanted to give her the information on my Phrancko yoke sweater, the gray one, fingering one. She was asking how much yarn I was using. So I used 210 grams. And on the band, it's 396 meters for 110 grams. If that can.
And you used 210?
Yep.
So you used 2 hanks.
Yep. And I still have enough to make another one that would be to gauge. If you don't mind modifying the gauge that I've entered in the pattern,
right?
I could do another one. I don't want to rip this yarn because it's a single ply, and it doesn't.
Oh, sure.
Unravel.
No, I'm always happy to change anything you entered for a pattern. And that goes for everyone in the world who hears this. If you enter a wrong number or you decided a different gauge for your pattern, I will change it for you if you write me. Just send me an email, Judith.
I will.
And give me, the sweater number and also the
Right.
new gauge that you want.
Right. Yeah, because of the stitch pattern, my row gauge is how do you say smaller? I have more rows in an inch than I thought I would have.
Yes, that is confusing. The row gauge is greater or smaller when the
Yeah.
number is higher and the knit size is smaller.
So I guess it would correct the little bump that I get because there's a little bit of too much of fabric right here in the top.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah,
You
I
can
think
let us know when
yes,
you do it.
I will. I will. And while I'm there, I have a question that's not yarn related, but maybe I don't know. I found a pen in my mother's things. It's called Aunt Martha's Studios Iron-on Transfer Pencil. I don't know if I can.
Put your hand. Oh, there it is. Almost.
Yeah.
Iron-on transfer pencil. Iron-on.
Oh, it's an iron-on pencil.
So I guess I would
Wally.
draw something on a paper, put it on a fabric, iron it, and it would
And it
transfer the
transfers it over.
lines.
Yes.
I don't know. Have you ever heard of that?
Yep. Mhm.
But it would be reversed from what you're drawing.
Oui. Right.
What?
Well, if it's a flower, it doesn't matter.
If
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
lettering or something, it has to go right or left
Yeah.
or whatever. It'll be reversed.
Well, what
Yeah,
does it
you're right.
transfer it to? What you mean transfer it to fabric?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can
To
do
class.
some embroidery, maybe.
Do embroidery. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I found
go.
that.
Old embroidery books, you can trace the pattern and transfer it onto your
Mhm.
case or whatever.
Fabric. Mhm.
So that was my question.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm.
I was about to throw it away, another pencil.
So, Sidra,
Yes.
I'm still trucking along with my Portuguese knitting multicolor with 2 pins.
I'm
Oh,
impressed.
wow.
oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I am loving it.
look at that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really fast way to do like color work.
Oh.
Hold it
Yeah.
up for us. I know you've shown it before, but it's just awesome.
Yeah, it
The
is.
back
Yeah,
side.
cool.
It's gorgeous.
So
And then
are
just to
you
do
flicking with, you're holding the tension in one hand and flicking with the other still? You got
tension here,
okay, so you
yeah.
gotta mix, okay.
And then
Yeah.
I could do it backwards because it's pretty easy
Yeah,
to see.
got it.
And then you just flick your pearls. Right? And it's pretty
Oh,
Oh,
pretty
neat.
fast, easy pearls, color work. Portuguese knitting, everybody.
So if you
Blame,
do
Ci-
color work,
blame
do you
Sidra.
have
I'm sorry.
one on the other pin?
Say it again.
Do you have 2 pins because you have one color on each pin? Is that why you have the 2 pins?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Yes, right. Okay.
The 2 pins.
Oh, okay.
And then it's, I don't know, Martin's story, he doesn't steek So he does it in pieces with color work, where normally a piece of color work like this in Norwegian knitting, because that's a classic Norwegian pattern, you would steek it, you would cut it, but
Yeah.
and it's knit in the round. This is not in the round. So I needed because that'd be very slow to, I'm miserable with the purl side double knitting, like with
Oh
two
my
hands.
God,
So this makes it very fast.
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Does it make your tension really nice too, Sumner? It looks like it.
The
would.
tension's the same with my Portuguese purling as it is with my traditional knitting.
Okay.
And I think that's true for most people.
Yeah, because I would have rowing out on, if I was going back and forth between knit and, to do a stocking knit straight, I would have rowing out on my purl side all the time. And
Oh, I see. Yeah, but like I do traditional knit and then the purl, and I'm not rowing out. It's fine. It's the same.
So
That's great.
you use Portuguese when you're purling, but you do traditional knit when you're,
Correct.
oh,
So now I'm gonna undo, and then now I'm gonna knit with two hands
Oh,
the next row. And there's no rowing out. It's very even.
Mm.
it's very
It's just lovely.
Yeah,
Maybe I
it
left
is.
out. I don't
It's a
know.
nice, very nice pattern.
And then I don't have to, like, I don't know. He doesn't knit in the round, which I would think you would, because this type of color work generally is knit in the round.
So would you only use Portuguese for you personally when you've just when it's all knit, when it's all stockinette in the round? So you wouldn't use it if you had a pattern which was a mix of knits and pearls in one row?
You can.
No, for you yourself.
I have,
All right.
but it's better. I'm only doing it because it's stockinette,
Oh, okay. That's fine.
right?
Yeah.
Because I'm faster that way. I'm only doing it for speed. I'm not doing it for anything other than that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So this reminded me of a question we got in a comment to last week's video. Someone said they believe that when we show our knitting, all of our stitches look the same size, very regular. So what advice do you have to tell somebody whose knitting is not that way, how to correct it? I know there's a dozen different things you could say, so I thought I'd throw it out to the crowd.
A stitch in time saves 9.
What is
Be
that?
as even as possible. Don't worry about the speed. It'll take care of itself, and your stitches will be even.
In other words, don't rush it.
Don't rush it.
I agree.
Yeah, go slow
Anybody else
until
have
you
another
get it.
tip?
Yeah.
Don't knit
Well,
when you're
I would-
mad.
That's true.
Don't knit when you're mad
Yeah, don't knit when
Don't-
you're
Or hungry.
mad.
or
Yes.
hungry.
I've done that.
Watch
That's
your
a tight
emotional
stitching.
status when you're knitting.
Yes.
Yeah. That's some tight stitching.
Yeah.
Frank, I would give a cheeky answer, and that it maybe looks like we're all even, but we're not.
right.
True. Yes.
We all have stuff that sometimes it's not too, and it's not as perfect as it might look on the screen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think all
Oh,
of us
Cindy, you're
do-
giving away
do
all our
lovely knitting.
secrets.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, I don't want people to expect that stuff's going to be perfect. It's
Perfect,
not. I
yeah.
mean, it's like
Right.
when
No.
I look at mine, it's like, yeah, it's good and it's better than it used to be, but it's not perfect.
No.
So I would say
for
to
the
somebody,
hint,
What? Jenny has something to
go
say.
ahead, Jenny.
yeah, I would say to somebody, when you're knitting, you've got your garment, 5 or 6 inches from your eye, so you can see every single imperfection. So put it on and look at
Yes.
it in the mirror as if you were wearing it on, and you're looking at somebody else. You know, it's what looks uneven up close will look a lot better when you're not put your nose on it and have a look.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And an actual hint that I would give, and that helped mine, is to maybe take a little video, like just even 15 seconds of you knitting and purling, and look at how you're holding your needles. Because I thought I was holding mine the same, and I was not. And I was having trouble with my pearls were bigger and they were different, and I didn't know what I was doing. And so I did a little video. I actually had Jerry come and hold the phone up here over my shoulder, but you can set it up however you need to. But then just looking at that, I was holding my needles very different. And you want to work on the tips of your needles, and keep them at a 90-degree angle. If you're going really wide with your needles, you're kind of pulling your stitches apart, as well as that the angle around the needle is different. And if you cut straight through a carrot, like, you're going to get a circle. But if you cut it at an angle, you're going to get a long oval. And so that can change how much yarn you're actually using in a stitch.
Well, that's a good analogy, the cutting of the carrot.
Mhm.
And you
Everyone
touched on
remembers the
my
conic
favorite
sections.
suggestion, which is to, when you wrap the needle with the yarn, make sure you're wrapping on the tapered end of the needle. And
Yeah,
then when
on
you
the
push
tips.
the stitch down onto the barrel, that's the first time it is the full size of yarn that you need. That was my biggest problem when I was struggling to try to knit evenly. A lot of other people have other problems, but that was mine. And I learned to wrap the tapered end of the needle, and then only at the end of the working of the stitch do you push the needle all the way through the stitch so it takes it down to the barrel. And it's the barrel that sizes the amount of yarn that you need for that stitch. But there are a lot of other things that can go wrong, and Cindy touched on a couple others. Holding the needles too far apart makes a big gap between stitches, and that gap varies from stitch to stitch, and that makes them all uneven.
Putting your work down in the middle of a row,
Oh,
Yeah.
liable to be able to tell. Working in the round, unavoidable. You're going to put it down somewhere.
When I put my work down in the middle of a row, I like to knit backwards for a few stitches, and then I can get my rhythm back and get my tension back on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
yes.
Oh.
Good
Good.
tip.
Yeah, very
Good,
good.
good tip.
Very good suggestion, Tim.
Yep.
I think something that is, I guess it's an anti-tip. It's a don't do this, or don't think this will fix it. I know a lot of people come into the shop here looking because they think they need to fix a problem that they have. And they will often identify that problem as being their style of knitting. But any traditional style of knitting has lasted this long because it produces good results in the hands of someone who's practiced at it. So switching from continental to English style knitting will not necessarily solve any of your problems. If you'd like to learn another style of knitting, that's a great thing to do. Being able to have lots of ways to do something is excellent. But doing it because you think that, well, my friend is a continental knitter and she knits so much better than me, I better switch. You're going to be starting over from square one. It is a great thing to learn lots of different ways to manipulate the yarn and use your tools, but thinking that the results are going to be better in one style or another, I think is an illusion for some people. It's a sort of a grass is all greener kind of thing. So don't feel like you learned the wrong way, because I mean, you may have things like you're accidentally twisting all your stitches, but otherwise the conventional ways of handling your yarn, they all work. Otherwise no one would do them.
Right.
I tried to figure out
Good
why
point.
my tension was consistently loose. And it was always looser than the designers called for tension. And I realized after observing for a while that the way I held the yarn, after I would make the stitch, I made it, put it on the barrel, but I wasn't holding the yarn tight enough. So the loop would actually loosen up a little bit before I knit the next stitch. Especially if it wasn't a really sticky yarn, but even if it was a sticky yarn, it would just loosen up just enough. So I'm learning to keep my tension more even.
Yeah, I find that the longer that I've been knitting, I hold my yarn much looser than I ever used to. And I'm pretty accurate with the gauge that most patterns call for from the needle size, because I'm holding the yarn looser. I really have to let the needle dictate the stitch size. So I used to wrap my finger around the yarn a lot. Now I just kind of put my hands in and the yarn's very loose, right? And I let the needle kind of dictate the size, and I don't pull on the stitches as much. And that's how I improve my edges, my salvage edge. I don't pull on my stitches as much, and it made it a much more even salvage edge, because boy, I struggled that salvage edge. I worked on for months to improve my salvage edge. And I didn't realize I was pulling that last stitch. And it made it very uneven and a messy salvage edge. But
also, sorry.
No,
Also don't expect yourself to knit at the same gauge as different designers with the same size needle. They all knit differently, just as we all knit differently. And some of them knit really tight, and some of them knit really loose, and some of them are in between. And sometimes you're using a different yarn or anything. Yes, you need to match gauge for your pattern, unless you use a Phrancko pattern and it is just done to your gauge. But
right.
But if they use a 7 and you need a 6 or an 8, that's totally fine. Use what needle that you need to get the gauge. And sometimes you need to use a different material in a needle to get the gauge too, depending on what the fiber is.
There is a designer who is a thrower, like in English, and she throws. Now she's a fast knitter. She must have a death grip, very tight stitches.
My tension in my right hand, and my knitting is tight, very consistent. I sew myself, but tight. I know when I'm making a design, I just have to lie about what needle I used, because when I'm getting on an 8, people might get on a 6 because I knit tight.
Right.
Debbie Abrams knits tight, just so you know.
But for us as knitters,
the question is not whether you knit tight or loose, because everybody varies, as we're saying. The question is whether you can make all the stitches the same. And one problem with knitting too loose is that you may be looser on 5 stitches than you are on the next 5 stitches. And it's hard to be consistently loose.
That was my problem.
If you've watched Stephen West in some of his videos, he holds his needles so far apart. It's like he's just kind of like throwing the yarn around, and there's
really
his tension has to be all over everywhere.
He's a loose knitter, yes.
He really is a very loose knitter.
Yes, he is a loose knitter, yes.
When I used to teach in Salem, Mass, when Stephen West, he had to be only like 19, 20 years old. He actually came in as a visiting instructor and did one of his first shawls. Cool. Isn't that fun?
Wow. Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, yes.
And he was a pretty loose knitter. And I'm like, whatever. I mean, it works. Obviously, he's very
Well,
talented.
yeah.
Great eye.
Maybe that's why all his designs are very drapey.
He just loves color work and texture.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it's not
He
that
makes
that
you
it's bad.
No, he
It's
makes your
just
mind.
different.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. He makes you think on everything you're doing with his work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His colors are amazing.
Yes, especially, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me throw in one more suggestion, and that is if you're really having trouble with your tension, being consistent with it, then I highly suggest go to tkga.org, not .com, .org, tkga.org, join for $35, and then sign up for the Taming Tensions class, which is an
Oh,
excellent class.
That's on my list.
And it will, you'll get the personal attention you need. And it's a fantastic opportunity to iron out your tension problems. I'm not sure how much the class costs. It is a little more than the $35, but I don't really remember how much. Does anybody recall how much the individual class is?
No.
Well,
don't
TKGA
know.
stands for the
I can look up if you want.
Okay. Yes, Cindy, let us know when you look it up. It
Okay.
stands for the Knitting Guild Association, TKGA, and it's a teaching organization. It's where I took the Master of Hand Knitting program and got certified as a master hand knitter and changed my life in my retirement. So I can't speak highly enough of that organization and that class. Binka Schwan is the person who teaches the class, and she's just an excellent, excellent teacher.
The fee for the course is $150.
Okay.
So it is one of the more expensive classes, but also I'm going to say again, I don't know how to get back, so I can't see what I'm doing. My screen was gone. But TKGA does offer scholarships every quarter. So if you're a member and you want to take a class and you're not able to do it, otherwise you can apply for a scholarship so that it's available to everyone, really. There, that's my little bit.
that's nice. Well, and I'm sure Cast On Magazine would have some articles about tension.
Oh,
that
it
could be
has a
searchable.
bunch of
Yes.
Oh, yeah, a
articles.
ton of them.
And
You
if
get all the
for
past
the
issues for that $35. Well, for
Yeah,
you,
for the
all
whole
of them.
year. Yeah.
past issues, and you can search for tension and get plenty of articles that will talk about tension.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
And
that's how
she
I
is teaching
worked
a
with
class.
the salvage edge work that I did was from reading the Cast On Magazine articles.
She does a mini class too about edge tension, and maybe one others, and those are like $35.
Oh,
So, yeah.
okay, that's enough on tension, I think. How about if who has something?
I'm so tense.
Already got you tense.
You're so funny, Sumner.
Who has something they'd like to show us they're working on?
I do. Okay, so I'm still working on my double knit blanket. And I got that going.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, how nice.
Very nice.
Go along slowly. And then I ended up starting- What's that?
Wait.
Wait, what?
Go it again.
I want to
She
see
didn't get
it.
to see it.
Please.
We're starting to see the books on the shelves.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that.
That's
Oh,
Neat.
okay. Look
Oh,
at
wow.
that. Wow.
boy, that's a
Ah.
lot of knitting. Double
How
knitting.
long does a row take?
It takes me about an hour at least to do a row.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So sometimes I can get 2, maybe 3 hours, of rows, 3 rows done in a day.
Oh,
So
I've
then
heard
I
you
ended up
mention-
starting a mitten, fingerless mittens that are done kind of in the round.
Oh.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
wow.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So what's going to
Oh,
end up
nice.
happening is they'll be sewn down here together, and then the ribbing is put up on the fingers and then on the wrist, and they are the same whether it's a right hand or left hand mitten.
Hmm.
oh, isn't that fun?
What an unusual construction for an
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. So
Whose are
Yeah.
those? Where's the
how
pen?
it's put together.
Wow.
wow.
And there's
What's
some patterns with stranded, all the other patterns are more stranded knitting. So maybe I'll do another one because I want to work on stranding.
And where did you get the pattern on Ravelry?
It's on Ravelry. It is, well, this particular one is called Ben Nevis.
Ben Nevis.
Okay.
And there's it's not sure if it's separate, but it's like a booklet of 4 patterns.
Oh,
Hmm.
So I was working on my color work as well. Obviously, that's why I picked this thing up. But I wanted to ask kind of the group, and maybe Jenny, because it comes from like around her island where you're living. I wanted a good kind of resource book to refer back to on doing like color work mittens and color work, or I mean, and then maybe Norwegian, I don't know. So I was thinking of just having multiple charted patterns so that I could get better at reading them. But like a good, like, what is anyone's resource that they use if they were going to do color work patterns? Anything?
You can't go wrong with Starmore. I mean, if you're looking for
Yeah.
like a
Dictionary. or-
So Starmore, yeah, more, yeah, like a dictionary maybe of patterns. So is it Elizabeth Starmore? What's her first name?
Alice.
Alice Starmore? Okay.
Yeah.
So is that that's not a beginner type book though, is it? If you're really beginning and you don't really, I mean, you have a basic idea.
Oh,
Well, I have a basic
Here it
idea.
is.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Here's Alice
Starmore's fair, okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
And there's a lot of
And
charting in
it's
there.
it's quite a big book. There's gobs of stuff in there.
Okay, so it is
Oh,
kind
wow.
of a-
Yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of
Yeah.
what I'm looking for.
Yeah. And see, it's got all the different little patterns in the back and talk about all the traditional stuff. So, yeah.
Mm.
And she does a whole bunch in the earlier part about the different colors and actually, but the different colors and everything. And it's really good and why you do different things.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's, I'll
So
I'll
yeah,
look for that.
it's really a good book. It's quite big. Right at 200
Is
pages.
it still?
Yeah, because I could do the stranding, I could do the knitting. I just want like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I just
that
want
one
like
has
the
a lot of
patterns
the
and the chart.
patterns. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a whole line of other books by Starmore that are just dictionaries of patterns charted in 2 colors. There's a dot for one color and an empty box for the other, and you're sort of left to yourself to figure out the colors you want to use. But tons of motifs cross-culturally, so traditional, those sort of Scandinavian and Scottish motifs, but then just tons of other textile motifs and other sort of repeating motifs, just cross-culturally. I thought I had one sitting up here, but it's still there.
Okay, and then you just apply those patterns into what
Stick
you
them into
want
a
to,
project. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I
I knew you'd all have the
I just
answer.
went and got, let me spotlight. Selbu,
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I
Which
was
is
thinking
beautiful.
of.
and it's full of patterns. Let's see.
I saw that book. in my looking at for that. Okay. So what do you think of the book, Frank? Do you recommend it?
I haven't knitted from it. I just have it.
Okay. Oh, you just have it because you had to own it. Okay.
But I have it because somebody who's knitted many Selbu Mittens told me about it and really highly recommended it. And I thought, well, I should just at least have it in my library, and one of these days I'll do something with it. But
Okay. Well, I think that one's going to go on the list because that looked like a great book to own. So thank you.
sure. Who else has something they want to show us? Don't make me call on you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The teacher's
Call on
looking.
Judith. She likes you to call on her.
Yeah.
Attention.
You know how Judith is always jumping in to show off what she's working on.
I'm working on 2 things, but now I have to stop because I'm still working on my ranunculus, but I think I'm ready to split for the sleeves, so I have to check that.
Cool.
How are you making it more
In
fitted?
black.
What did you say, Sidra?
How are you making it more fitted so it's not so baggy? What are you doing?
I'm using a fingering weight yarn, but I'm using 4.5 millimeter needle.
So are you doing it to the same size, or did you go down a size to get?
No, because I have the original pattern, the first version of the pattern. There's only one size.
Okay, because I know a lot of people have made it so it's more fitted. Because I like you, I don't like it baggy. I hate baggy.
No,
sweaters.
no,
Yeah.
no. I've hold on.
What's the pattern?
Ranunculus
Oh,
from
yeah.
Midori Hiroshi.
That has to be one of the most popular sweaters ever printed.
Yes.
Yeah, it
See,
is.
Sidra, the pattern says to cast on. No, I shouldn't say that because it's a paid for pattern.
So what?
Well, it just says to cast on. That doesn't mean anything. You're not telling them how to do it.
Okay, so they say to cast on 30 stitches, and then you wait. You do a row of increase till you double that amount of stitches. What I did is, and the cast on is a provisional. A provisional cast on. I do a long tail cast on with 60 stitches at the start. Then I do the ribbing and start the yoke lace pattern after that, after the X round of ribbing for the collar. So it's a little tighter at the neck, but not as tight as if it was 30 stitches, of course.
Yeah.
So I'll show it to you when it's done and blocked, washed. And I'm working on my carpet cardigan.
Oh, wow. Look at
It's
that.
That's a coat. Yeah, that's gorgeous. That's a coat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
two strand of bigs and little held together.
Mm.
So
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it gives
Wow.
somewhat of a bulky weight. And it was a pattern that's written for a bottom-up cardigan with raglan sleeves. I did that and tried some modifications for my husband's measurement, and it did not work nice for the raglan at the top. So I ripped it out and decided to start at the top, did a provisional cast on at the collar, did the raglan, and tried it once in a while to check if everything was okay. And now I'm doing the rest. I've done one sleeve, and now I think I'm finished with the length of the collar, which is supposed to be very long and folded. You wear it like this. And I think it's long enough. I have to, how do you say? My husband has to try to see if it's long enough. And then I will bind off the collar and continue the rest of the sweater. So that's what I'm working on.
That's beautiful for the Quebecois
Yeah.
winter.
Thank you.
I've got to the end of a row, so I'll show you where I am. So I'm still working on my cardigan coat. I'm onto the sleeves now. So I have
Ah, God, that is so beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
That is yeah.
You never
Yes.
cease to amaze me, Jenny.
Yes.
that's the
My
back,
Lord.
and then
Wow.
one of that's coming down the sleeve,
Mm.
and then it will go into ribbing at the bottom. And then I finished the unusual pockets, which have come out. Find the pocket. You'll need to sew it a bit, so just hold on. And so, and that's the pockets. So
Oh,
you
how
knit it
cool.
all in one go. And so as you're knitting it, hang on a minute. As you're knitting it, the fabric is coming out like a triangle.
Mhm.
Oh,
then
yeah.
Fold it on itself and then hem it along the bottom. And so then that creates the pocket. I just need to stitch it up a little bit at the side because it's gaping. So I need to stitch it up there. And then you've
How
got
neat. It's a neat design. Look at that.
Amazing.
yeah. And then the
Beautiful.
band afterwards that goes the band that goes round into the collar.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
Mm.
Can you remind me what yarn you're using for that cardigan?
This is, Cascade 220.
Ah, yes. I
And
remember.
the pattern name again?
That's a very good question. Oh, this is Sode, SODE by Phrancko Meeting.
Okay.
Say that again, by whom?
Phrancko Meeting, HIROKO PAYNE, Phrancko Meeting.
Hmm.
I think she's French, I think.
Well,
And you have to get the magazine.
From Cindy. She's the only one
The
that's
Lane
got a magazine.
magazine, and I know where to get it. So if you want to do it, let me know, and I'll direct you to the little shop that I finally found it because nobody else has it. It was was it from 2018 or something? I think.
Yes, either 2016
Something
or
like that.
2018, something like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. So it's out of print. The pattern is not released separately, but
oh.
Cindy has an in on where you can get one.
Cindy just Googled and Googled and Googled until I found somebody that said they had one, and then I emailed them and checked, and they did. And so they had some magazines sitting around in their shop.
Yeah, I miss the old knitting magazines. There's just not any around anymore. And if they are, they're a fortune.
Yeah, they're just too expensive to print magazines these days.
Yeah.
Gaston went digital a few years ago, and now Interweave Knits has gone digital. They
Yeah.
their last magazine, I received it a few weeks ago.
And that Rowan is like $25 at least a magazine.
Yeah.
Well, I like the magazines that you can actually sit and touch, but I also really appreciate, I mean, like Cast On, they can have so much more stuff than they
Right,
could have if
right.
they were printing. You know, you could only have so many
Yeah.
pages. And
Right.
they,
Right.
you know, with it being online, you know, it doesn't cost a huge amount to do a page.
Right.
So you can have more explanation, more pictures, more information. It's just great.
I'm in the middle of a
Instructions don't
row.
have to be as
but
telegraphic.
Oh, wow.
I'm in the
Oh,
middle of a
oh.
row, but this is just a blanket
Oh, that's
with
pretty.
sampler yarns from company called Bare Naked Wools.
Huh?
Mm.
And these are all
Oh, nice.
undyed wools of different sheep breeds.
Oh,
Like
Very
Oh,
nice.
wow.
this is
Oh, nice.
Perindale, this is CBM, this is Perindale, this is what she calls, this is a mixture of different things. She calls it, I forgot. And there's a Corriedale. Anyway, it's just, I love her yarns so much.
Very nice.
Mm.
It's nice.
I'm on
It's
the last,
amazing, the
I'm on the
colors.
board, I'm on the final border, so I'm pretty happy. I've been working on it since last summer.
Oh, wow.
it's beautiful,
It is.
Yes.
really.
Thank you.
Did
You
you not
must be
ball
s-
up your yarn?
What?
Did you not ball up your yarn? You got it loose?
So I only needed a little bit of yarn and I didn't want to ball it up.
Huh.
So I'm trying to just take off what I need. And it's
Huh.
not, it is getting tangled, so I'm almost regretting that. But I don't like to ball up my yarn until I'm gonna use it. And I only need like 10 grams, I think. But yeah, I may end up balling it anyway, because it's kind of spaghetti-like.
Oh,
Oh, God.
what a nightmare.
Yes, exactly.
It's not to that
Gotta be-
stage yet, but it's a potential nightmare for sure.
You have to be in a room by yourself doing it. Because
Yeah.
the words are coming out of your mouth. No one wants to hear.
Yeah.
Do you have a Swift you can put it on?
Yeah, that.
You can, if you've got a Swift, you can put it on that and use it off that. I have knit off
Yeah.
the Swift.
Yeah, I should have done that. Yep.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
Yeah. Harrisville Designs has a whole line of yarns that are just all naturally designed. They call one nightshades and one daylight. And
Mhm.
they're the
And
whites
there's-
and the blacks, and they're all
And
breed
there's-
specific.
this one is-
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is called sheer. This is Harrison
Yeah,
Designs.
sheer.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
They're right.
woman.
I can drive to them pretty quickly, like
Oh.
not quickly, but they're not that far of a drive for me.
You
What a
lucky dog.
beautiful mill. Love that stuff.
What mill is that?
Harrisville.
Oh,
Boom.
Are you working on your hot chickens?
Yeah. I've got I'm working on a whole flock of chickens. One of each like yarn classification, aside from lace and jumbo novelty. But this was the first DK weight
Oh.
chicken I made.
Oh,
That's a
then,
riot.
So and then this one I had last week. He has an eyeball now, but he's still not stuffed, or she. So this one is worsted weight. See.
So do you have a chicken class?
That's what I'm thinking of doing. Yeah, and then
I think that'd be fun.
a bulky weight
that's-
chicken.
Oh, that's cool. Look at that.
Oh, I like the colors in that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is Peterbrook Farms.
Sorry?
Chunky. And then
Wait,
Here-
Ron,
yes,
what did you say it was?
Peterbrook Farms, Entropy Chunky,
Okay.
Entropy Chunky. And this is Alba and Alba Aaron.
Mm.
This is Cirrus Jacquard from Juniper Moon Farms.
Hmm.
And then I got tails that I've worked up to the same point. There's a fingering weight tail
Oh,
Ah.
and a sport weight tail. I just finished the 2 needles and 1 crochet hook bind off. And then lest we forget the super bulky tail.
Oh,
my.
God, look at the
Wow.
size of that.
Big.
So That will
Oh, it's
be
gonna be big.
quite the chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can provide
That'll
them
be
with,
quite
with a
the
little
chicken.
pocket in, so you can have an egg in them.
Right. So I got breathed in fluff.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm making a chicken of each yarn category. So yeah, I think next month I'm going to do a little 2-week class, basically focusing on a few different ways to do short rows without a gap in garter stitch and without making double thick purl bumps in the garter stitch and seaming garter stitch,
Hmm.
since those are the main like things. Otherwise,
Challenge.
yeah.
Well, it looks like it has shaping too, that you're doing increases and decreases also
It's
and stuff.
short row. There are
It's
increases and
practice.
decreases here.
Okay.
Short row shaping through the center of the body, the chicken breast, and the head are all shaped with short rows.
Chicken.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Oh.
And then
That would actually be a neat class because I know short rows is
Right.
something that I kind of was
Yeah.
like a bugaboo of. Like, oh, this is too scary.
right, and they're cute.
May we?
And they are cute.
How do you call the top part of the head? How do you call it?
The comb.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The comb.
Comb?
This is
Oh,
the
okay.
wattle.
And is the comb crocheted or what?
No, it's garter stitch as well. You just sort of increase up to 4 stitches and then bind a couple off, and then increase up to 4 stitches and bind a couple off,
Oh, I see.
and then the little wattle. So this
Did
is
you
the
know
wattle.
that there is only one breed of chicken that has a buttercup comb? That it's a cup-shaped comb. Most of them are single combs like this, but there is one breed, and it is the Sicilian buttercup. It kind of looks like a little crown.
Oh,
This looked like
Isn't that fun?
a brain coral on the top of their head.
It is. It's like a little circle. Like a little
What did you
circle.
want to share, Tim?
Oh, there's, if anybody is by Stitchable and also crochets, there's a really cool, oh, there's that.
Oh,
Oh, how cute.
those are so cute.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's a really cool bundle on Humble Bundle right now, for amigurumi crocheters. If you crochet, it has a whole bunch of books, ebooks on crochet and amigurumi crochet. It's really cool. So that's worth checking out on
Yeah.
humblebundle.com.
If you've never done a humble bundle, they're ebooks. They often do like a pay what you want kind of pricing. I think these are a minimum
$18 minimum for all of the books that they have
I think
available.
over 20, isn't it?
It's I want to say it's a lot.
If you're interested in taking up amigurumi or just having a couple crochet dictionaries around, Tim's been excited about this.
So what is it? What is it? The website, or how do you spell it?
Humble, as in the opposite of me.
Eating humble pie.
Opposite of him.
There's nothing so tedious as false humility.
Yeah, so all you do is go to humblebundle.com. It's spelled like it sounds, Humble Bundle,
Humble plus bundle.
all one word. And then you go to the top and hit the search bar and enter amigurumi. It'll probably autocomplete for you.
But it's just tons
and-
of resources, and they're all.
Yeah, there's stitch dictionaries for crochet. There's a whole bunch of amigurumi.
Is it
crochet
Children's
books
Miracle
specifically.
Network this time?
Yes.
And so the donations for it's a donations drive, and the
Ah.
donations for this bundle benefit Children's Miracle Network.
Cool.
That's
a
nice.
percentage, but yeah.
A percentage.
Hmm.
That's fun. We need an Alouette song for chickens.
So,
Right. Unfortunately, they only know the Capucines.
it's a $419 value and you pay what you want.
Mhm.
They suggest
Oh, wow.
10, 18, 25, 30, or $35.
Yeah,
or some other amount.
$18 is the minimum if you want to get the whole collection.
Wow.
They recommend you donate. They recommend you choose $25.
But
Hmm.
it's certainly a bargain.
Mais oui.
I'll put that in the chat and try to remember to put it in the description of the video when I post it.
So
So
just a lot of really cute books of doll making, and then there's some stitch dictionaries in there. Neat stuff.
you can, copy that from the chat.
Yeah, if you go to our Instagram, Google made a whole video about it.
Look at that.
Oh, that's cute.
That's your mascot.
Yes, he's promoting our Leap Day sale.
But yeah, before that one, Google made a whole video about the Humble Bundle.
He's still dressed for his leap year celebration. That's our report for this week. What have I done?
Wow.
That's great. But
We just have a couple of minutes left. Somebody else have something they want to share or question?
I got my pictures all taken of all my swatches and all the things. I went yesterday with my grandson. He took me to the video studio where he does all of his pictures. And so we had big lights and pictures and just, it was
Oh.
great. So he took 256 pictures. Okay, there's like 20 swatches, but he
Someone
had to
loves
take a
you.
lot. So, oh, he does. And it's like my knitting looks actually really good. It's great. It was very fun. But I had a good time with them. And I'm finishing the second armband on the vest, and then I've got to do the neck, and everything else is done. So I'm close. I'm close.
Congratulations.
congratulations.
Oh,
I
Very
know I'm
good.
gonna make it. I think I'm gonna make it. So
And it certainly beats having to schlep all those things to the basement of Sears to have their portraits taken.
Yeah, it does. It does. So here's the one armband to see kind of what it looks like.
Oh, look at
There's
that.
that what
How
that is. So there's
nice.
the armband. You see?
that's
Oh,
beautiful.
wow.
You're supposed to pay particular attention to how it's picked up along the edge and da da da. So
Very
anyway,
neat.
it's turning
Mm.
out really nice.
Yes.
Very neat.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm getting close.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Well, in closing, I'll show my T-shirt.
Oh,
It's one of my favorite T-shirts. I got it in Ireland.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, that's darling.
How cute.
so cute.
That's
Look
cute,
at
Frank.
Very good.
Your shamrocks are see-through.
Yeah,
Oh, were they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that.
sorry, so funny.
Tim also has a shamrock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's cute.
Look at that.
I gave it to
Oh.
his homework. St. Patrick's Day falls on a Sunday, so
Yeah.
Well, it's
Very
a four-leaf clover.
yes.
What it looks like. Yes. So it's very good luck.
well, thank you all for another wonderful meeting, and we'll see you all next week.
Okay.
Thanks for
Bye.
hosting us.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice.